Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. This one today is about how you can potentially look at cutting your taxes, potentially like some clients of ours, to 0%. Most founders today do not get in trouble because they evade taxes, for example. It's really the asset protection levels that can come with that. I've seen clients, in current legal cases from old business partners, old ex-girlfriends, the complete lot of it. We see it a lot here at HPT Group. And again, if this is your first time seeing me, I used to work for 3 different fintech firms, now own my own fintech company, as well as this enterprise as well, where I help founders scale their entrepreneurship careers even better than they are. Whether that's relocating, setting up a trust, looking at asset protection, types of structures. And again, if you did want to become a client, you can simply hpt.group/apply, and hopefully we can chat soon there. But let's get straight into this video. So it's doing around 30 to 50k a month, whether it's a SaaS business, e-commerce business, and let's say import-export business, you're importing avocados, or it's consulting, something like this, right? You are probably, and if you're currently living in Canada, UK, Europe, you're probably feeling like you're just being completely constrained by the current tax pressures that the government's actually putting on you. And I don't see why they have gone and risen taxes so high, whether it's for personal or for corporate. It's definitely a massive problem, right? And that's why, again, we do what we actually do, which is relocate the actual entrepreneurs and relocate their business as well. Because generally speaking, you do not get the benefit of paying those taxes, right? Especially if you're living in a country like the UK, somewhere like this. 20%, 20% VAT, and you've got corporation tax, and you've got personal income tax. You're essentially losing every pound you earn, you're losing 50 cents. So every £1,000, you're losing £500 potentially. So in the last few years, we've actually helped fund managers, e-com brands, consulting businesses, marketing businesses, especially marketing. We've seen a lot of marketing clients. We've moved over 10 clients out of the UK, whether it's to Dubai, to Thailand, to Bali, to Malaysia. There's a huge range of choices right now, but what we have typically seen is just the pressure come from Europe for all of these founders to actually leave. So if you have actually gone and thought about it, it's probably a good thing for you to obviously just get in touch with us and actually go through your options, create a holistic plan of you moving forward, right? Whether it's for asset protection reasons, for tax reasons, or just for other reasons that you really want to diversify your assets overseas, right? Whether you're purchasing properties, you're doing this, you're investing in ETFs, you're doing that. This is what we help clients do. Say you've gone and grown a business to $1 million revenue. Let's say you're a SaaS company, or let's just be simple, and a marketing agency. You're currently doing social media marketing management, right? And you're making $1 million a year. What would I do if I was you, right? So let's start off at the basics. If you're living in a country such as Canada or anywhere in Europe, generally speaking, I would most likely be relocating myself. And that's to a country that actually welcomes me and respects my business. Instead of being scrutinized by compliance, having to upload, for example, all of your compliance documents to Revolut again and again and again every 2 to 3 months. I would move to a place where I don't have these problems. I don't have these tax problems. So firstly speaking, most likely Dubai. I'm not a big fan of Dubai. Yes, I've lived in Dubai. And guess what? I also left Dubai as well. I'm even currently closing down my business in UAE as well, my Azure Man company. So Dubai is obviously a very strong option. We're seeing record numbers go there, but you've also got Italy, flat tax, Greece, flat tax, fantastic systems there. Obviously does require some initial investments as well. We've also got places in the Caribbean, in Southeast Asia. For example, Malaysia has a great regime there. Thailand has no tax on crypto gains, and also overseas income. Potentially you could be exempt for all of your taxes there. So the first thing I would actually look at doing is, okay, where do I need to be? What's the airport like? And what's the lifestyle like? What do I want? I recently made a video on the living in a tax haven ski resort that was in Andorra. And a really, really good video. I'll put a link down below if you haven't gone and checked it out, or you can find it on my YouTube somewhere. really good video on, that is a lifestyle which I personally love, right? For now, I'm, as you can see, currently in a very tropical place. And again, my current taxes are fantastic because there is no tax on overseas income. So there's also other options such as Hong Kong if you like city life. But it depends where, let's say, you come from and where you need to be. So obviously if you come from Europe, Southeast Asia, it's only one flight away, technically speaking. But UAE could be like a little bit closer, right? Especially with the time zone difference, you could potentially be back home door to door in 5 hours. So that is something that we do look at with clients. We go through all of their places, all of their objectives, and we see what is best for them, and essentially then take them to that place, which then treats them as they should be treated at the end of the day. So that's the first comment I would like to make on where would I park myself, my personal income tax, and also to allow flexibility. Maybe that's a reduction, or having no CFC rules could be incredibly beneficial to your corporate life, right? Issue which we're going to touch on in a second is we generally look at a lot of these businesses. I was speaking with a client, he owns a photography business, and he's paying 20% VAT, and then he's got Stripe fees on top. Okay, this is huge, 25%, even pre-taxes, is being wiped out to value added tax, and then another 5% essentially on Stripe. So we also look at situations where you could potentially lower these fees, have a better setup, more efficient, and obviously lower taxes would increase levels of asset protection as well. And that is what we do. That is what we do best, essentially. Now, in terms of a company, it really depends on where you live. Yes, you've seen me mention the likes of Cook Islands, Nevis, British Virgin Islands. Ireland, I love 12.5% corporation tax there. We've got Cyprus, similar. I believe they're moving their taxes to 15%. But the company really depends on what you're doing. In this example of marketing, if it's not really too much of a problem to have an overseas company, the trust is still okay, right? You don't need that UK presence. You don't need that Irish tier 1 country presence, right? You can essentially just look at having an overseas company in British Virgin Islands. Very cheap to maintain, £1,200 a year, £1,200 to actually set up the business. And there's literally no accounting requirements at all. So it's just a very simple stuff. And you can have overseas merchant acquirers to process those subscriptions and payments linked with this business as well. You can have a UK domestic IBAN details, as well as other countries too, and diversify between a few different banks, whether you wanted private banking or just fintech banking solutions. So that really depends in terms of a corporate setup. If I was running a business that does £1 million a year, firstly, I'd relocate myself out of a high tax jurisdiction. If you've already gone and done that, fantastic. Then really we need to look at your business, what your business is, how you accept your payments, where your clients are from, where your actual suppliers are from, and that's essentially what we do for you. Then we implement a blueprint as such that then helps you, through all of this, because you're fed up of looking online. There's not these stupid cheap-ass companies. You don't know what you're doing, or we do, and that's essentially why we are here. So if you haven't already gone and applied to become a client below, please go ahead and do so. And other than that, guys, I will see you in the next video. Over and out, and I hope this is pretty useful for you.